Hey everybody, welcome back to Kicking in the Second Half, Kish YZ. I'm here to bring you not a podcast episode, but let's call it a 90-day on YouTube episode. This is an episode to celebrate our 3-month anniversary being on YouTube. I know it's not a big deal, but I kind of want to celebrate it. It's June 3rd now, and we got started on March 3rd doing our podcast, Kicking It in the Second Half, which is how we got Kish YZ. The YZ standing for the Y and G and Z generation. Sorry about the stumble there. I'm kind of tired. You know, it's like 5 a.m. out here and I'm trying to shoot this video because I almost forgot about it, but I did want to do this and I wanted to do it on today's date. I do have to go to work in the morning after I get some sleep, or not in the morning, but in the afternoon. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyway, I want to get through this video. But real quick, June 3rd, happy birthday, Hugh. One of our co-hosts on this channel. We see him pretty often. But yeah, happy birthday to you. And also just happy birthday to your Bud 36, special guest on our show the following day, June 4th. And before I forget, happy birthday to my dad for June 3rd as well. I know him. Y'all don't know him, obviously. But yeah, shout out to everybody. Gemini's right there. But yeah, this is like a 90-day fiance type of thing, in my opinion. The way I was thinking about this over the last, couple weeks or so, I was just like, we're coming up on 3 months on being on YouTube, and it's just kind of like, putting in the work and kind of seeing where you're at, and, seeing if you like it or not, and I feel like, yeah, I'm committed to doing this, and I kind of want to keep doing this and see where it goes. But I mean, the main thing with this, looking back probably, as far as where we got started and where we're at now, and then, who knows where we'll be in the future if you're looking at this video in the future and coming back, or if I'm looking at this myself, trying to put out content, because, this is the stuff I like talking about when it comes to our content, which is basically based off NBA content where we have discussions and debates and whatnot, whatever we're doing. And then, not to jump too far ahead, but, about the shoes channels, the shoes segments, as far as the videos of unboxing shoes, and talking about how to dress up the shoes. We'll see how these things expand in the future. Who knows how it will go, but I'm hoping it'll go well. But yeah, I just wanted to shoot this video because I thought it would be cool, especially if we look back at this down the road. Like I said, this is only like 3 months in the making, so there's still progress to be made. There's still upgrades to be made as far as equipment and stuff like that. I've made several pieces of equipment upgrades along the way. Nothing too major, but yeah, I started this out with just a Chromebook, which is actually what I'm using to record this right now. But I have an external camera that is separate from the Chromebook to give it somewhat of a higher quality as far as the video imaging for this particular video. But, this, let me see, let me just refer to the notes because like I said, I'm half tired, so just bear with me if you're watching this. I greatly appreciate it. But yeah, I finished filling out this type of notebook on one of my last episodes that I did in regards to the 2021 NBA playoffs, and I was like May 31st, so I was like, wow, 3 months in, and I finally filled up a book. Of course, not all my notes went into this book, but primarily a book like this, it did. I put some stuff in note cards and things like that. Who knows what I'll be doing down the road as far as still taking notes and the way I configure everything for the episodes. But yeah, I did complete that, and that's what made me think, like, I definitely have to do this video, and I wanted to do the video basically around or on the 3-month anniversary, just to relate it to like a TV show like the 90-Day Fiance thing, and just kind of talk about what happened. But yeah, like I said, I started this thing with the Chromebook. That's why there's no editing here. I still have a Chromebook. Yeah, hopefully down the road I can upgrade, do an editing, do cleaner videos, and better quality. But it is what it is. It's about starting up and doing what you feel like you want to do on YouTube, and giving yourself an opportunity to try to be good at something that you have a passion about. And that's why, we started this, or I started, creating the content of how we're going to go about discussing our topics with the NBA, because there's lots of people out there, talking about the NBA, lots of podcasts. And obviously, this is a video podcast as well as an audio podcast. But, obviously you want to have your own personality, but you also want to just be passionate about what you're doing, and just, be driven to continue to do it and don't get too burnt out with it. But like I said, with this happening, doing these videos, I am working a full-time job as well as trying to do these videos. So, sometimes, I might leave early from work to spend more time doing this, but in most cases, on average, trying to balance it out. But I'm putting in a lot of hours doing this on the side. So, and like I said, that's really because I really like doing this, and it is work at the end of the day, but to me, it's worth it for sure. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I want to shout out to Tavern Geek. What's up, bro? Because that's where I pretty much got started with my first experience. Not really just like with YouTube, but just my first experience as far as doing these basketball podcasts. Started with him on Tavern Geek. He wanted to get a group of us that we always talked about basketball from work, and he started the podcast. It was December 2020, so 3 months or so before, maybe 2.5 months before started our channel here, he went and started out doing the audio podcast recordings as well as posting them to YouTube. And on that channel, I was in the podcast, so I was featured on the basketball segments when we do the NBA talk. And for the first handful of episodes, probably the first 3 episodes or so, I didn't show my face at all on there. I was just kind of in the audio, just, giving my opinion about stuff when we talked about basketball. I was really focused. And then I was like, you know what, at some point, I want to show my face on there and, get used to being on camera and stuff, but just wanting to be out there and just really focus on the content. So that's why I wasn't too concerned about recording as far as showing my face. I just kind of wanted to focus in. I would have my phone here and I would just be talking, just staring off, just getting real deep into the conversation and kind of trying to explain the content. And then I was like, you know what, maybe I could still manage to do both. And of course, when you're doing a podcast type of thing, we use Zoom as far as the meeting setting to put another person distantly into the video, and it kind of helps to break it up. But down the road, after we did get started and doing the podcast together, mainly with Hugh, and then like I said, we had Your Bud 36 as a special guest, Cousin Fred, shout out to Cuz. He's over there doing his thing with Twitch. He's a video game streamer, and Your Bud 36 was already doing Twitch. He still is. Catch him on Twitch as well. I can put their links in the description box below. But yeah, those guys, I appreciate the help. But yeah, after a while, try to do some solo videos just to get more content out, because sometimes it's hard to coordinate with the others as far as, when they're available or if they got other things going on. So it came to a point where I was like, okay, well, I might have to do segments on my own if the others aren't available, instead of putting off the content, because I wanted to get the content out. So I didn't think it would be fair to not be consistent in a way where, okay, things are picking up in the NBA world as far as covering different topics, and I'm wanting to get it covered so I can have content out there. So when people do search for the channel, there's multiple videos for them to watch, or even different playlists, which is what we came up with down, along the way. Just brainstorming different ideas. I think we started out obviously mainly with just the podcast, and then I kind of ventured into a PPF segment where we do past, present, future of a particular NBA player. And I actually started that video with Cousin Fred. He did the first one. I was like, hey, I had this episode. He was wanting to record, but he didn't have very much time. I was like, yeah, you want to give this a shot? I said, I don't have anything prepped. I think Julius Randle was our first one. So that was pretty cool that we pulled that off. And down the road, he had an idea of, where we pretend to be like a general manager or the owner of an NBA team, as if you're playing 2K or something. And, what would you do type of scenarios. So came up with the name Personal Takeover. And as of the date of this video, I've only done one of those, but I hope to do more. But, we collabed on that, and that was pretty fun. And then as far as Hugh, the main co-host, he came on here, and, we started doing a Hugh Weekly just to catch up on things that, we might have noticed during the week, where he just basically goes over stats and scores and things like that. So that was cool. Then one time it wasn't available, so I had to do a D daily, and I didn't do very many of those. I'm not sure if I'll still continue to do that, but that was fun to do as far as a replacement. And then that really got me going as far as okay, there might be times I might have to do this by myself, but we'll see what happens. And and I gave it a shot, and I thought it was pretty cool to do that. And it was a very short video. And then, down the road, we met back up and covered some more topics and, did debates and things like that. But I really got into doing the solo work when I did the shoes video, because I thought that was really cool to do shoes, because I already like shoes and I know there's so many different shoe people on YouTube. But I was like, you know what, I'm an NBA podcast, so I wanted to incorporate NBA sneakers, but then I threw in like some lifestyle casual sneakers, and I talked about how you could wear them or what to wear them with. And then I had some feedback from my friends, especially Yorbo36. He was like, that's very interesting. I like that concept of what you're doing as far as showing the shoes, but talking about how you would wear it for people who aren't that fashionable sense, as far as like, I like those shoes or I like that color, but I don't know what to wear them with, because I like different varieties and colors of the sneakers and not just your basic type of color. So I think that gave me definitely an insight and a feel for what to explain. And hopefully going forward from this video down the road, I would like to do like some short videos or something like that, where I kind of just show how you're wearing the shoe, or how I would wear the shoe just in a particular outfit or a couple outfits, just to give you a perspective on how I would go about dressing up that shoe. So look forward to that. If I'm doing that in the future, then congratulations to myself. But just some different ideas, that things just come about, and I'm trying to expand on that and get different playlists to kind of cover different types of audiences, but still within the realm of talking about basketball without being too far off the topic. But from here on, I mean, there's other things I wouldn't mind doing. Right now we're at 46 subscribers as of the date of this video. We had 47, and I think the one that dropped off was like a spam, because the other week I had somebody that's like, hey, they sent like one of those VOM dot messages or something that you're not supposed to click on. So if you see those on your YouTube videos, do not click on those. I had to YouTube that, because when I posted like my first or second video, I saw that message, like, that looks weird. What is this type of spam? I didn't want to click it, so I Googled YouTube a video of somebody talking about those type of messages. And I usually try to block them if they do go through, as far as popping up in the comments. But the person in particular was like, yeah, subscribe and check this out. So I never did that. And I checked out their page. They didn't really have any videos or anything posted, so there's really no information for me to go by. So I was like, well, it's a sub, but if they might drop off, they drop off. And that's what happened. But anyway, 46 subscribers, so not a whole lot as of the date of this video, but that's fine. That's not going to stop me from keep making these videos. And hopefully, one day maybe we'll be in a partnership or something like that with YouTube. That'd be dope. But until then, just keep grinding it out. And even still then, even after that were to happen, then we're still going to keep grinding out videos, still putting out content, because this is what I find very interesting. Outside of that, just on a personal note, if it's not basketball that I'm talking about, especially on here, I'm not going to be doing this, but maybe down the road I'll make a separate channel. I'm huge into gardening. I have basically a park at my house where I just spent years and years making a garden in the front and the back, just different sections of my yard. So I'm big on that. Maybe look forward to that. You put in the comments if you want to see that. And I don't know how I'll go about doing that. Like I said, I think it'd be best if it was its own channel, not to mix it too much with this NBA podcast / shoes type of stuff on this channel. I remember just watching here lately with some YouTube videos of people talking about, growing your channel. You kind of want to niche down, be very specific with what you're aiming at as far as your audience. So I don't want to get too general by doing a gardening video or anything like that on this channel, but maybe, down the road I could do something. But that is a hobby of mine. It's always been a hobby of mine, basically as an adult on. So, I have a great interest in that, and that takes a lot of time. So I think that would kind of balance out with this first year of doing these podcasts and content on YouTube, because in the summer, typically in the regular season, outside of last year's 2020 bubble experiment, in the summer there's no basketball as far as NBA basketball, unless there's some Olympic teams you could talk about every 4 years, or WNBA NBA talk if I ever get to that. That'd be kind of cool. But in general, I could focus less on putting out daily content or every other day content, and maybe just do weekly or twice weekly content while working in the yard, which is my goal. Is the plan I have going for this summer, is to scale back on the content for basketball. Maybe do some shoes videos here and there, because I love my shoes. But work back outside, get in the garden and everything, and do what I like to do out there, and just have a balance in life as far as like not letting this overtake me as far as putting so much energy into this, like I said, and you get burnt out and you don't feel like doing it, or you put in so much work and you feel like the effort's not paying off. I'm trying to be patient here and just, hopefully good things happen, and, people will find the content, and if they like it, they like it. You're going to get people that don't like the content, and that's fine. In my opinion, when that happens, I feel like that's when you made it, because people are out there just to troll, and it is what it is with that. So I'll just be prepared for that whenever that happens. Did have one dislike on a video, and it only happened once, so that was kind of crazy. And we thought at that time, like, hey, dude, we made it, But anyway, it is what it is when it comes to that. So I'm not worried about that too much. Just having a mindset going forward into that. But yeah, another thing just about this channel in general is like, you can leave in the comments about this. Like, I started this in the middle of the NBA regular season. So it was a spin-off of the Tavern Geek from where I started doing podcasts there. And then also at the time of the year, it was around the All-Star game coming up, which usually marks the halftime, is what they consider, of the NBA season. And so kicking it in the second half was kind of a spin-off of both of those things. So I'm trying to debate whether or not I want the second season of kicking in the second half to begin when the NBA 2021 finals are done, or when the draft is done, or sometime in the off season, or when the 2021-2022 NBA season starts, or just going back to how this started in the middle of the season when it's around the All-Star weekend and start the second season. So I'm trying to figure that out going down the road, when to start the seasons as far as marking the podcast seasons. That's just what's going through my mind now, in case y'all were wondering, like, what's coming next in the near future. I'm trying to still figure that out, how I want to display that. But yeah, that's just, something kind of minute in a way where it's not going to stop me from putting out content, but just relevance of how I want to present the content. But yeah, I mean, I think I covered everything that I pretty much have written down. Sorry if I missed some stuff you might want to ask me about. If you want to ask me some stuff, put it in the comments, or you can follow us on Twitter or Instagram under KishYZ, or at KISH_YZ. And then, like I said, the podcasts are available on the audio-only versions on like Spotify, Anchor.fm, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Breakers, and probably some more places down the road for sure. So just look us up there under KISH YZ, KISH space YZ, and of course here on YouTube. Oh, and one other thing that I just started recently doing was the beta shorts. They're currently in the beta on YouTube, and that's been pretty cool, because like I can watch an NBA game, especially like a playoff game, and then just record different segments. Like I said, part of the investment of this channel that I did not only was just the equipment, but also buying some outfits in particular for the show, because of it being NBA talk. I try to get pieces of every NBA team when it comes to like either some type of shirt or jacket or jersey and a beanie. I think the beanie is going to be a signature for me, as far as always wearing a beanie for the podcast. Now, if I do vlogging later on or something like that, where we're doing like a day in the life and we're out and about, then you might not see me in a beanie for that. But in general, when I'm hosting like a podcast or talking about basketball, like sitting here and just talking directly to the camera, then find me in a beanie for sure, and some type of NBA gear. So this is just a polo shirt here that I just kind of wanted to go casual for this video and for people just watching in general, but still stuck with some NBA gear here with the beanie. So like I said, trying to make that a signature of the channel, just to represent that we are currently always focused on primarily NBA stuff when it comes to the channel and the content about basketball. But yeah, I can't wait to expand the content as far as different spin-offs, creations of the stuff that we're talking about, especially, like I said, when it comes to basketball, but primarily the NBA. So, keep it forward here. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. And if you are subscribed, consider sharing if you don't mind. I would greatly appreciate that. And then, yeah, also as part of this channel, I have my signature peace and love. I don't know, that was just something I did. And I kind of stuck with it since day one. You know, when I did the Tavern Gate podcast, I would just say peace. But I felt like on here, I wanted to say peace and love. You know, try to keep things positive and friendly for people to be able to enjoy and pass it forward. You know, I feel like that's just part of my lifestyle in general. I try to be a nice person to mainly everybody I meet, unless they give me a reason not to be. But, you know, then in that matter, I would just go on my own anyway, not really make a big scene out of it. But, you know, that's, you know, this kind of expanded from Russell Westbrook, which is one of my favorite players in the NBA, you know, always doing like this for the threes and stuff like that. But I was kind of like, you know, it's like a peace sign and then like love. So I was like, you know, peace and love. I just threw that out there. And that's just kind of what I wanted to do as a signature outro as well. So, you know, I do that every episode because I really mean that, you know, want peace and love for, you know, anybody who's watching this, you know, find some form of peace, find some form of love. There's different people out there for different people, but, you know, everybody should love somebody. And, you know, and respect everybody if you can. You know, differences aside, I don't try to make this a political type of show or religion or anything like that. I just try to keep the content neutral, but definitely, you know, spread peace and love if you can. You know, go a long way. And, you know, like I said, you know, follow somebody on Instagram, follow us on Instagram or Twitter. You know, maybe sometimes people just want to talk, and that's fine with me. You know. Maybe you're just having a down day and you need somebody to lift your spirits in some way or another. It just doesn't really matter. Sometimes the greatest gift to people is other people. And I think sometimes people waste that resource. But like I said, not to get too theoretical. I don't want to be like a Kyrie Irving out here. Shout out to the Brooklyn Nets. Shout out to Kyrie. But yeah, just, you know, do you. And don't do they. That's one of the other things I always said too. Got that from Russell Westbrook, I think, from a Mountain Dew commercial years ago. But I tell my friends that, you know, do you, don't do they. And one of the other things I would say a lot to my friends, I should probably start putting this in my hashtags on Twitter, but hashtag stay better, because you always feel like there's somebody trying to be where you're at. And if you stay better, then you can get further in life, in my opinion, as far as the things you want to do. But, you know, hashtag stay better, because, you know, there's always somebody looking up to you, or there's somebody else wanting your spot. And, you know, you got to stay hungry. And like I said, you know, stay within what you're wanting to do and what you feel like you can achieve without overwhelming yourself. Because, you know, if you focus in on what you're wanting to do and trying to do, then chances are at some point you can achieve those goals. It just might take some more time. So everybody, I really appreciate y'all watching this video. Like I said, this was different. This wasn't even a podcast video, but this is just something I wanted to reflect on over the 90 days. Like I said, it's 5 a.m, so I'm kind of tired, but I'm glad I got this. I think the caffeine kicked in a couple hours ago, and then I'm still riding on that. So I do need to get some sleep so I can rest for work and make it through work okay. But yeah, once again, I appreciate everybody. And thank you to all the people that support the channel, all of our day ones, and people still yet to join the channel. Once again, everybody, thank you for kicking in the second half. Peace and love.